My New York Times article I found was about stem cells. So, stem cells are used in research to come up with new solutions to diseases. So, they come from the embryo. They aren't allowed to be taken without consent and can't be created in a lab. A quote from my article is: "They are primitive cells that can develop into a range of mature cells and perhaps serve as replacements." Another quote from my article is that in theory, stem cells might be a useful treatment for certain diseases that involve the loss of cells, like type 1 diabetes, Parkinson's, or osteoarthritis. Stem cells have genes that can be turned on or off to create different tissues and potentially different parts of the body if the research goes that far. Some regulations from the FDA are that they allow clinics to inject patients with their own stem cells as long as the cells or the tissue the cells are extracted from meet specific criteria. It's hard for the FDA to come up with these regulations because the research hasn't gone that far yet. There are several benefits that come along with stem cells. They could potentially save a lot of lives, and it's a new challenge for doctors to see how far they can go with these cells because they can do a lot depending on how far their research goes. The downside to these cells is that they are expensive to research. They're risky to use in treatment because the research is still so new, and there are a lot of regulations limiting how the stem cells are able to be retrieved. There is a lot of controversy surrounding the research for these cells because the most abundant place to find them is in an embryo. So people debate about removing them from the embryo if it harms the embryo. Embryos cannot be made solely in a lab because of the ethics behind it. So the conclusion to all this is that stem cells do have a lot of potential if they're researched enough. The downside is that the cells do cost a lot, and there are ethics problems behind it. There are also several laws and regulations surrounding the topic so that people feel comfortable with it.